on fenders. So I got the one mocked up on this side. Come off the headache rack, over, down to the bumper. I believe after putting weight on it, the most it's ever going to squat's about 4 inches from where it's at now. So I got about 5 inches of clearance here. And we'll come in and we'll put a piece from here up to here. And then, not sure what I'm going to do on the top. Probably run a brace from here over to here, and then skin that somehow with some sheet metal. So we'll have a spot to put toolboxes and or a little work surface. So we'll see what happens piece by piece. We'll keep going. Good morning, Saturday morning again. Not too much going on today on the truck. Just I'm running out of metal again. So we're just tacking in some pieces here from the rock slider up to the, I guess, fender frame you would call it, going across. And got one tacked in on this side. And then trying to figure out where I'm gonna route my exhaust. So I'm thinking about coming up and coming out the side right there. Or coming up and coming out the side right here in front of the tire. I kind of like the looks of this spot better, but I have to make a little shield or something to protect that from mud and junk coming off the tire. But it's a little tricky because you want the exhaust to be out of the way, not hanging down too low, but you kind of run out of options when you start hanging this much stuff back here, especially with the 3-inch pipe. It's pretty big, so you run out of places to route it. So we'll see where that ends up, and I'll have to get some more metal to weld some braces in here, and then we'll probably sheet it. I don't know whether I'll use steel or like some aluminum tread plate. I think would look pretty good on there, and it'd be lighter. So we'll see what happens. Tonight we're just still working on fenders and framework for the bed. So we got some pieces on our side up here, building some framework now that we can bolt fenders down to. So got to put in a few more pieces of angle iron, and then I don't know whether I'll use steel tread plate or maybe aluminum tread plate. We'll make fenders that probably just bolt on, so that way we can take them off to access everything to work on it. So cut some more angle iron, get it welded in, go from there. Tacked in there. Now we just gotta build some more. But we got a few more brackets welded in across there. Got our support welded on the back side of the steel tube there. Got the frame in here, and same on the other side. Support welded in here, the frame up and around here. So I'll probably end up putting another piece angle iron across there, and then have to figure out what I'm doing back here. But we're getting closer to being able to bolt some tread plate or something down, have fenders, and that's one step closer to being running and using it. So it's pretty tedious work. It's got to be done. I don't know why it is, I always seem to remember to get the camera about the time I'm done doing something. I'll get the hang of it one of these days. So I got a rear drive shaft in, at least temporary. So this is the factory rear drive shaft that come out of this truck. So we shortened the frame, so we need a shorter shaft. Well, the factory shaft was shorter because the factory transfer case was longer. MP203 is longer than MP205, so I had to cut about a ½ inch off of the splines on this one, and it's going to work great until I finalize my drivetrain plans and order some actual beefy drive shafts to go in here. Now it'll just help us be able to drive it around a little more, Still got to get rear axle swapped out and some work done on that one. But one step at a time, as I've always said. That's the way you gotta look at it, because otherwise you just get overwhelmed in a project like this. So good Saturday morning. Working on getting the axle out of our donor truck right here. So we just use the wheel lift, pick the back end up, put a couple stands under it. We'll get the axle out. And Mama Bird over here is not too happy. Look at this. She got her little nest of babies under there, so we'll leave them alone. We won't disturb them. Pull the axle out, and then Mama Bird will be happy again. She's like, what are you doing? So anyway, we're gonna get to work on that and see what happens. Might need to go up a little more. Yeah, I think we just need to get the drive shaft undone. All right, now that we got the axle all unbolted, we're gonna use the tow truck to, I guess, recover its own axle. So anyway, here we go. That's pretty handy. We'll take her in the shop. Oh, there it is. Guess we'll probably just leave it up in the air there, start stripping some stuff off of it. Let's go check on baby birds here, make sure they're all intact. There they are, still in their nest, all undisturbed. Now Mama can get back to them. We didn't bother them very long. It only took about 10-15 minutes to get that axle out from under there, so we'll go get to work on it.
We're doing good. That was really stuck. Done. I gotta get the hang of it. Keep missing.
All right, so still working on the rear axle here. Got it stripped down, inspected the ring and pinion, and all the brake stuff torn apart, bearings torn apart. Don't really see anything wrong with it anywhere, so we're gonna torch off the old shock mounts, get this cleaned up so we can put a truss on it, disc brakes, clean up the bearings, new seals, new oil, and just get it all ready to go before we put it under the truck. So see if we can cut off some brackets. gonna cut my truss to fit in between leaf spring mounts, and we'll see if we can get it cleaned up and welded on. Alright, there's one side cut off, so we'll get the other side done and go from there. Alright, I didn't get a whole lot filmed because just me, and it was mostly just grinding rust off with the wire wheels. Pretty much got all the tubes and everything cleaned up halfway decent. Bolted this pinion guard on here and just kind of mock this up. This will go something about like so, and I may build some new spring perches. Haven't decided that yet, but one step at a time. Next thing I gotta do is weld my tubes in, and I'm probably gonna need some help for that, because to do that properly you gotta heat this cast up with a torch before you weld it and keep it warmed up while you're welding. That'll probably be the next step, but that's all for today. Good Memorial weekend morning. Pretty nice out. It's a little chilly, been a little cooler than normal here. Highs in the upper 60s at the end of May. It's kind of weird, but anyway, we're still going after it on the tow truck, having some fun. We are going to work on the rear axle today. Hopefully get tubes welded in, truss on it, disc brakes on it, all that good stuff. New leaf spring perches. A lot of work to do. We'll see what we can screw up today. So here we go. Well, this should be fun. Preheat the cast, then weld it, then slowly cool it down. Run the camera, run the torch, run the welder. Multi-talented. And not screw it up in the process. Alright, well that took a while. A lot of heat, a lot of welding. I ain't gonna claim it's the prettiest weld in the world, but I think it'll make it 22.5% stronger, so. Anyway, got this one welded up. Basically, I've been monitoring it with my heat gun. We want it to cool down slowly and evenly, since cast and steel cool down at 2 different rates. Usually what happens is cracks your weld. So that's what all the preheating and temperature checking and stuff's for. So that should be about the hardest thing I have to do today, I hope. Now I can move on with welding truss on and other stuff. That was a lot of grinding. I got old spring perches cut off, ground smooth on both sides. So now we can work on truss, but after lunch. All right, got my truss welded up here. Getting ready to weld her onto the axle. Just weld her a little at a time. Move back and forth side to side of the axle. That way you don't put a whole bunch of heat in one spot all at once and warp the axle. All right, I'm gonna let that cool down a little bit. We'll weld the other spots and keep right on trucking. It is a rainy Kansas Sunday in May, and it's, I don't even know, it's gonna be 70 degrees out today. Kind of weird for the end of May, but anyway, we're working on getting axle under here. We're gonna get it mocked up, leaf spring perches on, we'll get pinion angle set, get those welded on, that way we can keep on trucking. Okay, so trying to get it set on the jacks, or on the jack, at about what ride height will be, so then I can set my pinion angle before I weld the mounts on. So we'll get this all set up and we'll be back. Okay, we've been having some fun here. So got my leaf spring purchase tacked on. Got my pinion angle set at about 4 degrees. Transmission angles probably closer to 5 or 6, but I'm assuming that my transmission mount is actually sagging a little bit because it's old and crusty. And you know, when it's under torque, I'm gonna try to twist that pinion angle up more. So we got it close enough, I think, and if we have to, we could always shim it a little bit under here to compensate. So man, I had it all set up once, almost where I wanted it, and I had a jack stand under the pinion instead of a jack, and I moved it and I wasn't paying attention and it spun down and everything fell off the jacks, and I had to start back from scratch. That's the way it goes, but we got it tacked on now. Can lift the truck back up off of it, finish welding those on, get brakes, everything else put on before we're ready to bolt it back under there. So here we go. We'll weld a little on this side, then we'll weld a little on the other side and go back and forth. That way we don't get this super hot, just less chance of warping the axle. All right, we'll let that cool down a little bit. We'll do the other 4 welds and bam, that part's done. Just getting ready to cut this 2x2 in half. And then we'll weld a half down on each side to brace this last few inches of axle here. That would have been easier if I would have taken over to the vise, but you know, why do things the easy way? All right, so we'll weld that on there on each side. At least it'll give it a little extra support out here at the ends. We got some blocks welded in here, truss welded on. We're getting there. It's a long, slow process, but getting close to being able to bolt it back in. Get the disc brakes on it, the hubs on it. We'll have matching gears front and rear again, 456. Just one step closer to be able to actually wheel it, have some fun with it. So we got Alexander, he's wire wheeling some welds and rust and stuff. We're just spray painting a few places we won't be able to get to real easy once we bolt it up in there. Top of the leaf spring mounts, around the spindle where we're gonna bolt some brake brackets on. This isn't real super high quality paint job either. It makes me feel better, so yes, I'm doing it. Turn on the paint and seal surface. He's probably sticking dirt to my paint as fast as I'm painting it. And it just gives it texture. Right?
What?
So you're gonna line that up. And man, that went in awfully easy.
So what's wrong with that? It's because you have an air hammer.
All right. Well, there's one. All right.
Now what?
Well, I probably should stick one in a wheel and make sure they're gonna be long enough. Oh man.
What?
I don't know if these are gonna work.
What? What, do you have to have something in there, or are they the wrong ones?
The rotors. Maybe I just don't run them in all the way.
It's a hammer. Ooh. Hammer.
Why do I not want to get it done?
How did I get this grease on me? How did I do that?
I don't think these are gonna work.
Are they too small?
Those are just not, they're not tight in
Do you
there.
want me to hammer them back out?
So put a little bit of oil in those bearings. Just stay there. Okay, that's probably good.
Rub it in.
Okay, let's do this one. Okay, that's good. Pre-lubing them there, so that's some lubrication when we put it together. Put our wheel seals in here. I probably have a nice driver for this if I wanted to go get it. They're pretty easy to put in usually. Oh, I can get it in the right way. The lip always goes towards the oil. Alright, there's that. Let me see that. Put a little oil on the seal. Alright, we're putting hubs on. Got our rotors on there. New seals. With the inner bearing pre-lubed.
Hold these.
He's the boss. He's telling me how to do it here. Okay, put it on and tell our audience of 2 people on YouTube what you're doing here.
Putting this on.
Keep going, you're almost there.
Almost. There we go.
Okay, now what are we doing next? What did I tell you on the other side? Grab a ratchet.
Okay. Do you want it on?
I don't know, do we?
Yeah. Tighten that.
Okay, now what do we do?
We tighten it
And what else?
and spin it.
Okay. Go ahead, pull. Okay. It's easier if you're holding it and running the ratchet at the
Okay.
same time. Here, let me see it.
Hold it then.
Okay. We're gonna snug it up, spin it as we go, right?
Yeah.
This will seat the bearings. Okay, now what?
Then we loosen it.
Loosen it back up.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we're gonna go hand tight.
Mhm.
Sure it's nice and free. You don't got any play.
Pieces.
Right here.
Okay. Now,
And you
check out our keyway. What do we need to do?
loosen it that to there.
And we always want to loosen it. It's better to be too loose than too tight. If we're about a half a keyway off. I don't know if you can see it there, but
That's snuck in behind it.
Yeah.
right there. So we're gonna back it up. Okay, you got your keyway?
Yeah. And I put that in and push it in.
That keeps the nut from backing off.
And then we put this in to keep the key. And then we push it on.
And there you have it. We're gonna make sure it spins free. Got just a tiny bit of play, which is okay because we can't go to the next hole tighter. Yeah, get a pick out of the cart and we'll get that silicone out of the hole. We're gonna put our axle shafts in. Pre-weave our bearing a little bit. Finger, don't poke your finger. Glob of grease or silicone, huh? That's alright. It's just the oil I squirted in there.
Yeah.
Finger slug grip. We'll wipe it up. Right there, how's that?
Yeah.
There we go. And when you get those axle shafts, wiped down, so you can put those in.
Okay, I guess we'll start done.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
Somebody
It's rusty.
previously screwed up the threads. Glorious. Glorious. Ah,
Nice.
dang it.
This is pretty tight.
Threads dried out. Well, we'll have to put a helicoil in it or something, an insert at some point. We'll just leave it out for now. Oh, the joys of working on this old junk.
Well, at least we can get some wheels on it.
Somebody weld on that really tight to strip those threads at some point.
Yeah. Are
So
you gonna
this
hook
piece
up?
is off of the donor truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I could
axles.
take a hub off of that one, but I didn't want to take that one apart.
Yeah.
So
Well, are we gonna
you'll
hook
just
up the
have to
drive
fix it at some
shaft?
point here.
Are you gonna hook up the drive shaft now?
No, probably not actually.
Okay.
Need to get a new pinion seal put in it before I hook that up. Everybody does this a little different, but I like to put a little grease or this makes contact with the caliper. Doesn't take much. Probably kind of pointless because dirt will just stick to it, but
When are we gonna hook up
a little less chance of squeakage.
When are we gonna hook up the brakes?
Okay. And I also like to put a little grease wherever it contacts the caliper, which would be right there. grease up. Let's go get my grease.
Okay, inner, outer. You have the outer one, or you have the inner one. So here's the outer one.
Yep, this is the outer one.
Yup. Save some
Contact
grease. Green goo. Save some green
In
goo.
theory, these fancy shims should help with noise, but I still like to put a little grease on the contact points.
Okay. Pen in?
Nope, because we got to bolt it up there.
What? What?
Hold this pin. Grab the pin.
Okay.
Just get it in place here. You might have to grind some off this bracket. The caliper needs to be able to move in there, and that's pretty dang tight. Right there. Don't like it. Don't like it that tight, so we're going to have to come back out and we're going to have to grind a little bit off of there. Ain't gonna take much. Ain't gonna take much
Where is the pad?
to do it. See how that works here before I get too carried away. Still too tight. It should freely slip down in there. It is not. Don't want it too loose because it'll rattle. Don't want it too tight or else your brakes will drag. Oh, that's much better. I think that'll work.
Here's your inner. And here's your outer. Okay, I'll get the pin. Okay.
I'm not fully happy with it yet. I'm not fully happy with it yet.
You
Alright.
can see where it's scraping right there. Scraping.
You better watch out. We'll be grinding here. A few thousandths is all we need. Still hair tight.
Good.
No, it's really not that good. It might be that some of our problems with the bracket. And then just hair. Oh, that's much better.
Okay, good, yeah.
Shove that bolt in. Okay, yeah, that's good. The other bolt? No, the other bolt.
Yeah, here you go. You might want to wipe it off.
We're quitting for today. We got disc brakes all on, axle truss all welded on. Welded up all of the stuff I built for the fenders. Put another piece in here so we can get that all sheeted. Mainly just been doing a lot of welding, some grinding, because I'm not a professional welder. Some of my welds suck, so Gotta grind them once in a while. So anyway, I'm not sure what we're gonna do next. Still gotta get a pinion seal put in it, drive shaft hooked back up, and get some more metal. Till next time. Well, it's been a little bit since we've been working on the tow truck, but we're waiting on parts. And, you know, life happens, so other stuff to do and deal with. So tonight, we're working on leaf springs again. So I got another new main leaf. We're gonna put it on underneath of this top leaf. We have to cut the eyelets so they're just a U shape on each end. And it'll sit right under this eyelet. And a couple different things that'll do. It'll give us a little bit more height. It'll help with spring wrap and make the spring pack a little bit stiffer. So didn't know, you know, when you start, sometimes you gotta just adjust along the way because stuff happens. Like you put a big old truss on your axle and you need a little more clearance and a little more stiffness as you add more and more weight. So anyway, we're gonna work on that. Rain, rain, and more rain. I guess that's good. Saturday morning. And this morning, working on springs still. So last night, we added another main leaf under here to get a little bit more height and a little bit more strength. Otherwise, you'd have from here to here, and all it's holding is that one thin little leaf. Got that done. But I still need a little bit more height, and that's so I gotta lift it up now, but that's so this doesn't hit when the springs are fully compressed. So I got an overload out of one of my old spring packs I had, shortened it just a little bit, a longer bolt in here to hold everything together, and that's going to give us about another 3/4 of an inch of lift. I think that's better than a lift block because with these heavy overloads, helps with your axle wrap. I got this side bolted in, gonna do the left side, then we'll see how it sits, see how much clearance we got. All right, so after getting our springs all done, got our extra leaf in here, got our other one in here. Been sitting here thinking about shock mounts for probably the last 2 hours, and what I landed on was going to mount them right here on top of the spring. There's gonna still be room for an airbag to sit here. Shock's gonna come up there, it'll come straight up, and we'll make a mount somewhere in this area. A lot of reason for doing that is just to get it bottom of the shock mount out of the way. Like if you mount it anywhere down on the axle, there's always the risk of bashing a rock or something, bending the bracket. Up here on top somewhere is the most out of the way spot I can think of to put it, and we've got plenty of room height wise up here to make the mounting brackets. Don't know if it's the right way, but it's the way I'm doing it. And we'll see what happens. If it doesn't work, we'll cut it off and start over. That's what I'm working on now. Just got this tacked on, got these tacked on. I'll take this plate off, weld all that up, put the plate back on, and work on top side of the shock. Got some shock mounts made up this side, all done. Got to finish welding up the bottom bracket. And then over here on this other side, just working on making some plates to fill these holes in there, fill it in, fill that in, then we'll make some more, weld some gussets on there. So it's coming along. It's a lot of tedious work, so you just got to do it one step at a time, keep it trucking. Okay, got the shocks bolted in. Still got to make my airbag mount and do some welding here, but that's for another time. And I don't think I'm going to leave the reservoirs mounted here, but anyway, they're bolted in. Should be good and sturdy. I probably should go do another test lift now and see if I'm going to have enough clearance down in here once the weight of a truck or something's on there. Probably what we're gonna do next. So we got our donor truck picked up again. And since I've got both axles and everything out of it, it is sitting on the wheel lift clear back here. So literally like probably 3/4 of the weight of the truck is currently hanging on the tow truck. Leaf springs are as flat as they could be. We still have clearance on top of our truss. Let's see if we can get in there and see it. We still have clearance there. And we still have some shock travel. Not a lot, but it ain't gonna be going down. It cannot possibly go down any further than that. It would have to bend 2 of these massive overload springs in order to do that. So, and once we get airbags on there, you know, we can air those up and give it some more support there. So I think I'm gonna call that a success for now. And now I can start moving on to getting fenders made, lights hooked up, the rear brakes hooked back up, just all sorts of little stuff to keep working on. So a little at a time, we'll get her.
Hi.
What's up, guys? Decided to come along for the ride?
Yeah.